I just wanted to take a short time here to talk a little about how I view how creativity comes from, and also where I believe how you can access creativity, and where I guess from an MBTI perspective, I guess where it comes from and how you can um, what are my views about it. And I'm an INFJ as well. So just to start. Um, Ever since in college, I watched this video. Um, it was Elizabeth Gilbert. She's the one who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and she was talking about how it was such a success and a big story, and she did a really good job, and it was like her greatest achievement, and how we kind of view artists and creative people and writers and those kind of things and those kind of people as very you know, we put them on a pedestal for a while, and then we want them to see them crash and fall. And she was talking about that, like her next book has to be the best thing ever, or else she's a failure. And for a creative person, that can be very, very daunting and challenging and scary. And how she described it is, so she described doing that, and then she used to describe how the ancient Greeks used to view creativity, which was no one is a genius, or no one is one person is not a genius. They have a genius. So, like for example, like it just comes in and out of you really quick. Like if you're dance, like she goes in further and says people who dance and they go into trance dancing, like really crazy, like spiritual things that happen to them. It happens for 5 minutes and then it goes away. So I've always viewed creativity from that point on as having these little flashes of insight, these little flashes of creative thoughts and ideas and connections coming along in very short periods of time, 5-10 minutes, done, and that's it. And that's how I've always viewed it in the last 5 years or so. So I think that's very interesting. So going forward from that, I did a very interesting study with myself. I just wanted to learn something more, and I also have a friend who, I kind of talk to a lot about things like this. But so I I want to describe my insights, and as an INFJ, I saw a lot of videos that people say I get a lot of insights. I get I get all these little flashes of boom, 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 new idea, new idea, new idea, new idea, and I was like, that's very interesting. Like I think that's happened to me all the time. It explains why I like kind of appear like this, like staring into space, that kind of thing, or or I'm away for a bit, and I think it's interesting that I have like these sudden bursts of like images that pop in my head, or ideas or thoughts, and it's hard to explain that. And I've heard a lot of INFJs say that too. So I think that that's exactly why that happens. But so I did this on like a Saturday about a week ago, and I woke up, and for the first 10 minutes, I just laid in bed, and I got 10 insights, and I wrote them all down on my phone really quickly. And I wrote them on my phone, and they ranged from something really happy, really sad, really interesting, um, uh, funny, and also like irreverent, and just didn't care. And like there's a range, they had a very different range, wide range, and it was just very interesting. And I kept going through my day. I was in the shower. I got some more. I came out. I just started doing my daily routine things. I just started watching TV. I was on my computer, just working some things out, and I shut off, completely shut off. I had no more insights for like 5 or 6 more hours, zero. But I had them all when I was by myself doing something. Then I went to go get some lunch or something, and I was in regular like the world, and all of a sudden I started getting a little more flashes again. So when I started looking at people, I got flashes too, and some insights. So I eventually I did, and then I came home again. I turned on the TV, all gone. So I ended up with like 30 insights in that day, and I recorded all of them. And they were very interesting, and they were more thought provoking than not, and they had a lot of depth to them, I think. But for the most part, they weren't that creative. I thought normally I do have like really creative insights, but like that's where it comes from. So I would say that all comes from intuition. I think that it all comes from this place where you're just kind of your mind is open. your mind is either in, I guess, here's the metaphor I'm going to use, AM radio or FM radio. And AM radio is going to be the aura, crazy world, like, um, the creative side, the left, I think the right brain side, I can't remember which, but here it's the creative, more, about ideas and possibility side, like the intuition side, and then there's the FM side, which is the analytical thinking, do the process, get the job done kind of side. And so those AM is creative, FM is, I guess, like, technical. So I just kind of look at it like that. I think that for the most part, if you want to access this creativity, you need to turn on that AM side. You need to turn on that creative side sometimes, parts of the day, because I think a lot of the times we do live on the FM side, which is the the technical side, and we don't get to see that creativity, or we don't understand that's how we can capture it. So I think it's interesting to say that I think for the most part we are, as a society, really just bogged down and distracted all the time. If you're distracted by social media, if you're distracted by television, if you're distracted by the internet, if you're distracted by, you're not going to be creative. There's no way. You have to take time for yourself. So like if you just walk outside, go take for a walk and sit around and just look at the trees, and then, or go around and if you lay in bed and think deep thoughts, or if you just take some time for yourself, get away, try to access that AM side, clear your mind, you can get those creative insights and those thoughts. And that's when they can come to you. That's when they come to me. And they definitely come to me at like 5 minutes before I go to bed. Like, right before I go to bed. And I need to, like, make sure to write that down, because it's usually the most creative. It usually is an amalgamation of the entire day, everything that's gone on with me in the whole day, and what I think about it, and it all comes together in one, like, perfect idea. Or one beautiful thing, or one scary or terrifying thing. I had talked to my friend about this too, is that, a lot of creative people can be tormented or scared or have these really crazy thoughts, but have deep feelings, and that's what we determine. I had a conversation yesterday about what art was, and art was, it has to be something that you are the person that, you have an intention. You have you want to create, and you're saying, I'm creative. Even a 5-year-old can be an artist, because if they draw a little cute picture for their dad for his birthday or something, or this really cute little girl makes a picture of her dad, I think that's art, because it has an intention behind it. And if it's some guy who takes some paint and throws it on the wall and tries to sell it, that's not art. So there has to be a discrepancy between art and business and creative and technical, AM, FM, that kind of thing. So I think that's very interesting. I think we could be better if we do try to access that side of ourselves and do that. And lastly, and going back to that video that's always kind of determined my, that TED Talk video, it determined my, my thoughts and my opinions about this. She also says that we view creative people in a very bad way. I think we view people, we want them to be business people, like we want them to make something that sell. If it doesn't sell, you're a failure. You're a loser. And I want to tell everyone here that I don't think you're a loser if you try to do something like that. At least you're trying. That's number one. If you're trying to just create something, or you just want to create something because you're bored, or because we want to have fun, or anything, I don't care. Why is that a big deal? Why do we have to be so critical of artists and view artists in that way? Or it just, because I think for a lot of those times, people who aren't creative look at artists and they're like, what are you trying to do? Why are you trying to be creative? Why are you trying to be, interesting? Or why are you trying to do that? And we shouldn't be looking at it that way. And, the artists need to stand up and say, I'm in charge here. I have the ideas, and I have I'm doing it. The insights. So I think it's just very interesting. This is what I've been thinking about the last week. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to comment or anything. No hateful, crazy comments. I just don't like that to be that on YouTube. I probably would delete them. And also, I think it'll be interesting to say, remember to turn your AM radio on. All right, thank you. Have a good day, guys.